Hey, what's up? I'm Rafael di Furia, aka Rafi D is me, and I am back at it again on another beautiful Friday night. So with having spoken about applying in Italy in quite a few videos now, I've received the question more and more about where should I apply in Italy? And I actually got a question recently from Roberta saying, is it realistic to ask for a video about which comune are easier and which are more difficult? Obviously, it wouldn't be comprehensive, just the ones you know of. And in regards to, is it realistic? Yes, it is, but you may not like my answer. But before we get too much deeper into the video, if you would like to see more content about moving to Italy, Italian citizenship, and more, please be sure to subscribe with that notification bell turned on. And if you could also give the video a like, I'd really appreciate it, as it does help out the channel. Firstly, I think it's going to be easier about where not to apply. But don't worry, later in the video, I'll let you know what I think about where the best place is to apply. The general rule of thumb is you want to avoid places that are larger cities, unless that's where your family happens to be from. Even then, applying in a larger city may actually not save you time at all. And applying in a larger city could take you the same amount of time as if you were to apply maybe in a consulate somewhere abroad. And even potentially, I would say, the more popular destination. So just based on this information alone, I would personally say it's probably not the best idea to apply in Milan, Florence, Rome, Naples, Palermo, Venice, and also Bologna. And then I would even say it would be questionable about whether you should go to a smaller comune just on the edge of a larger city. In that sort of case, you might be taking a little bit of a chance, but it would almost surely be easier in that smaller comune than it would be in a larger comune. But for example, if there are any name changes or anything like that in your family line, those papers will probably have to be sent to the regional police or the national police. So that means then they would have to send those documents to a much larger city. And so then that can end up taking a little bit more time. For sure, regardless, if you have any name changes in your family line, this is going to be something which could be a little bit confusing. Here in Italy, name changes are extremely uncommon. And as many of you know, women in Italy, once they're married, don't even change their last names. And changing your name for professional reasons, as maybe somebody from Hollywood might do, isn't so common here either. But getting off on a tangent here. At this point in time, I would have to say that my list of comune that would be good to apply at would probably be a good solid 0. Okay, maybe there's 1 or 2 that I might think of, but I haven't tried to put a list together, and at this point in time, I don't think I will put a list together, because a comune that is great right now, that has a really amazing track record as it's going right now, if everybody starts going there, then that could end up turning into a nightmare situation for everybody who tries to work with them and for the people who have already started working with them. So for example, the city of Benevento, as I'm sure many of you are now familiar with some of the horror stories that are coming out of that city. So that would probably be another place that I would say would be better to avoid if at all possible. But where is the perfect place to apply? For the reasons that I've said before, it's difficult for me to say that there's a great comune out there where you should go apply, but I think the best comune where to apply is actually going to depend on your specific case. In an ideal situation, if it's at all possible, I would say it would be best if you could go to the comune where your family is from. Why? Because that way you're not going to have to deal with any middlemen, as I've spoken about in previous videos. Because then, even if you are in Italy and you're applying at a third-party comune, they are still going to have to be in contact with the comune that your family is from. But the caveat to that is that there are many people who are from smaller comune which really have no idea about this process or that it's even possible to go through this. So they don't even know how to process the papers. So in that case, for sure, I would say you absolutely need to have somebody with you that speaks Italian if you don't yourself, or a service provider who is able to explain the process to them. There are people out there, even you may be able to explain it to them yourself, but I'm sorry that I don't have a list that I can say, oh, we can go from the top 10 or the top 5 or the top 20 places to go, because at this point in time, I actually don't want to know. Why? Because I would be sharing this information left and right, and I don't want to cause any problems for any comune out there, as they are already overworked and overstressed. And if you happen to go and work with one of these comune, then that would put you in a difficult position, and I really don't want to see anybody go through a difficult time with this. This is the type of thing system where you are going to have to do a little bit of digging on your own. Or if you are working with a service provider, then it should be with a comune that they can recommend you to go to, or a comune where they would feel confident enough to help you with the process. Anyway, I hope this answers the question somewhat. I know it's a very difficult subject. This is, again, another one of the reasons why I would love for an NGO to come into play so that we can all avoid having to go to the municipalities and to the consulates and just be able to go to an office that this is what they take care of and this is just all that they do, so that the system isn't being bogged down and that people who are already under a lot of stress and pressure, so that they're not put under more. But for those of you who have applied in Italy, maybe you feel like sharing where you applied, or maybe there's some information that you picked up during your process that you might be able to help somebody out with. So feel free to leave that down in the more comment section below. And if you ever have a question, you can leave that down in the more comment section below, or always feel free to contact me over social media. If you would like to see more content like this, please be sure to subscribe with that notification bell turned on. And if you could also give this video a like, I would really appreciate that. And also, if you enjoy my videos, if they've helped you at all, maybe save a bit of cash, or even a bit of time, please consider becoming a monthly patron over on Patreon. You can go to rafaeldifuria.com/Patreon, or if you just would like to help out one time, please feel free to go to rafaeldifuria.com/support. And as always, I'm Rafael Di Furia, aka Rafi D is me. Thank you for joining me on another beautiful Friday night. I look forward to seeing you all again next Friday. Hope you all have a great weekend. Later.